Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. So I'm setting off on my Summer Wells journey here. Summer Wells was a little 5-year-old girl, little Dot, who went missing 2 years ago from her home in June in 2021. She was 5 years old. And since then, there's been no trace of her found whatsoever. Now, a lot of you out there probably know more about this case than I do, because I literally have not looked into it. I've seen, I've been around the periphery of it. I've seen videos come up on my YouTube feed, and I've never clicked into them or looked at it in any way, because I don't normally like, I get upset if I start looking into cases about children. So, but, a few of you have asked me to look into this case, and then I started sort of clicking into it. Then there were some remains found not long ago that some people were speculating might be, hasn't been established as being Summer or not being Summer. Nothing's been established yet, but all these things have brought this case into the forefront more of my knowledge, if you like, or my attention. And I thought, and then, as you'll know, if you know anything about it, I thought, oh, let's just see what this case is about. And then once I started going into it, it is like you just can't stop, because there's so many facets, isn't there, to this case. And at the centre of it all is a 5-year-old little mite who has disappeared, and possibly at the hands of her own parents. So they're the main suspects. Well, certainly the father is the main suspect, Don Wells. Let me put on the, look at some photos. Oh, not them, not that. Yes, sorry, not that yet. I've got lots of things to show you as usual. But basically, these are the photos of Summer. Oh. And one thing I just wanted to say first, all the time I've been I have started looking, she reminds me, I don't know if you've ever read the book, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And the character, the book is written from the eyes of a little girl, a little tomboy. And if I ever had to sort of say, the imagination of how I imagine Scout, her name is, to look like, if you've read the book, you'll know what I mean. This is exactly how I would have imagined Scout to look. Just a little sort of tomboy, but then sometimes you do see her dressed up. But then unfortunately, for some reason, they decided to shave all the hair off, which I'm not really quite sure why they decided to do that. But anyway, so there's various pictures. There's pictures of her with longer hair. There's pictures of her with a shaven head. A little face. But yeah, to me, if you've ever read that book, you'll know exactly what I mean. She's the epitome of what I would imagine Scout to look like. The main character in that book, the little tomboy, from whose eyes the book is told. And it's a very good book. It was made into a film as well with Gregory Peck, or that was I don't know if there's been a more modern version. They should make another version of it, because it's classic. It's a classic book. It's a classic film. It's about racism in the Deep South, I'm not sure exactly when it's set. Is it the 50s or 60s? But very, very good book. So that's Summer. And these are her parents, Candus. And I always want to say Ron, but it's called Don Wells and Candus Wells. And they live out in Tennessee, like in this big rambling property with lots of land around it, right in the middle of nowhere. Candus's mother, Summer's grandma, also lives there on a trailer in the property. And we'll be listening to her speak today. But the police are not really actively looking for anybody else in connection with this case. And another thing that I just wanted to say is that obviously I'm on catch up with this case. There's probably a lot of you out there that know more about this case than I do, but I'm getting there gradually. did, I presume, the police searched the whole property because it's massive rambling property and all the land around. You think, God, how would you find a body there? But does anybody know? Because I've been having these sort of, occasionally when I do a case, not every time, I can feel that person around me quite like close by. It doesn't always happen. It has happened with Summer. And the thing is, when I saw them going in her bedroom for the first time yesterday, it completely broke a dream that I had. I had a dream about going down into a bedroom like that and feeling claustrophobic. You know, she'd go like through a hatchway and down the stairs and feeling really claustrophobic. I had a dream about that, and I didn't know anything about this. And when I saw that, it was like my dream, like just suddenly broke my dream. It was just like, oh my God, I dreamt about that. But you know, it was just, but it's a dream so vivid that I remember it even now, because I don't know exactly even how long ago it was, a couple of months ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I honestly don't know. It's just as soon as I saw them going down that hatchway, I thought, oh my God, that is my dream. And then since then, and all the time, anyway, the upshot of what I'm trying to say is, does anyone know out there? I'm looking into it, but you know, I don't know anything about that area. Are there marshes around there? Because I keep getting marshes. You know, are there marshes around that property? I'd be interested to know if any of you know. I know some of you may know that, if there are marshes around, but I'm going to try and find out. So it's the beach, because there's a creek there, isn't there? But I don't know if there are actually marshes. So, okay, that's something I'm going to look at. But the first thing we're going to look at is, because another thing that I couldn't find, you know, and I've only had this morning to look. So, you know, again, if you know, please let me know. I'm looking for the name of the person, the friend of Don, that apparently used to go and stay there every time they argued with their wives, used to go and stay there in the garden shed, which I'm going to show you a video of in a moment. Now, I can't find their name because apparently they have some history of loving children. So if anyone knows where I can find anything out about that person, please let me know. Okay, so let's have a look at this garden shed where apparently this guy, whoever he is, used to go and stay. We're looking at this with the interview room. Chris McDonough I believe he does not mind his content being shared as long as it's acknowledged. So thank you. This is a very helpful video of the shed at the bottom of the property. The music I am muting because I literally left music on for 20 seconds on the video that I did yesterday, and YouTube pulled me up on it. So I'm leaving it on mute, but there are subtitles at the bottom that you can read. I mean, he doesn't say anything over the video anyway, it's just music. Now, I'm presuming that the police have been around this property searching. I'm presuming they have, with dogs and etc. But you can see how massive it is, and you know, the actual land, just their land, and then it's nestled in lots of other sort of land and trees, etc. But it's interesting that this shed, the road is right next to it, so it wouldn't be difficult to, you know, if there was a car parked up outside the shed, just load a little 5-year-old in the car and take her off. So the clearing takes you to the house. Yeah, so this is from the road. So if you were parked outside that shed, literally, you just load it up with, if you were kidnapping somebody, you just load up the car and you'd be gone. Now, I don't know what that would be like to live in. I mean, the house wasn't brilliant, was it? So God knows what the shed's like. But at the end of the day, if it's got a roof on it, you know, if it's just for a temporary, the guy's just coming any time he falls out with his wife. You know, it's a roof over your head. Yeah. Now, again, I don't know if in the beginning, see, for me, anyone whose child goes missing, or whose partner goes missing, or whose dog goes missing, anything you love, anyone you love, they go missing and you don't know where they are. You could not, you would search. Of course, you would search. I said this from the beginning about Nicola Bully. You would search. You would have to drag me out of that river, even if my dog had disappeared, possibly fallen in it. This was a problem with the Madeleine McCann case for me. You know, those parents, their child had been snatched. Not only they never searched, whereas the whole bloody village where they were, and I know because I've been there and I've spoken to the locals, everyone was searching except the McCanns. And not only that, they still carried on leaving their other two children in the kids' club. So they could go running and play tennis or do whatever they did. You just wouldn't do that if your child had been snatched, abducted. You think you would ever let go of your other children, you know? So, did Candus search? Did Don search? I don't know because I wasn't involved in this case right from the beginning. So, I'm looking back over all these things. It seems to me that possibly they didn't. For the interview room to say this, have you been searching? It's obviously a sarcastic comment that they haven't been searching. We think you don't have to search when you know what's happened to your child, do you? So this is the grandma, also called Candus. We're going to look at an interview with her in a minute. Yeah, and there's that little angel, or scout. As she just, honestly, if I could put a, oh bless, she just reminds me of how Scout would have looked. The character Scout in To Kill a Mockingbird. In my imagination, when I've read that book, I would imagine this girl. Okay, so that's the shed at the bottom of the garden. But as I say, I'm just still trying to find out the name of the guy who, you know, used to go and stay at the shed at the bottom of the garden. Sorry about my hair today. I haven't really done anything. It's all over the place, but never mind. So there you go. So that's one thing I want to look at. The guy who stayed in the shed at the bottom of the garden. And I will find out who it is. Now I want to look at this. You know that there is a YouTube channel, Don Wells Family, and on October the 13th, 2021, they must have had a GoFundMe account or some sort of account because they collected money to put billboards up to help to find Summer. So let's just have a look at that. I'm going to share that with you.
Thanks for the prayers and the love. Love overcomes a lot of evil and hate and stuff. So thank you. It's so important. Thank you. God bless y'all. Um, the billboards and everything that y'all put up.
Now, something I want to mention here, and again, this is pure speculation, so I don't know. But if you look at Candace's face, now look at the way he's holding her, he's gripping her. She blinked her eye when he look. All I want to say is I've seen. I've been very lucky. I haven't actually suffered DA in my life. But when I was younger, I did go out with a couple of people that I think would have resulted in. And one thing I've noticed about them, and anyone out there who's ever suffered from DA or DV, you will know perhaps better than me, but when the partners, the abusive partners, put their arm around their, their husband or wife, it's like, because domestic abuse works both ways. I know that's not only men, it's normally men towards women, but not always. They're quite sort of, they go higher up here. I don't know, they don't put their, it's just a total thing that I've just noticed. They don't put their arm around their waist. They put their arm much higher up, and sometimes they actually put it round their neck. I've had a boyfriend when I was very young doing that to me. Like, we'd be walking along and he'd have his arm around my neck walking. It's like you're mine, like really are mine. And it's like I don't know, it's sort of aggressive, but anyway, maybe I'm reading too much in it. But see, now he has got a history of domestic abuse, so it's not that unlikely.
Y'all put up for us, not for us, but for our daughter's sake. Thank you. God bless you.
Sorry,
the billboards and everything that y'all put up for us.
She just looks to me like she's suffering that arm around her, but
and everything that y'all put up for us, not for us, but for our daughter's sake. Thank you. The billboards and everything that y'all put up for us, not for us, but for our daughter's sake. Thank you. God bless y'all.
Her eyes are completely emotionless, and I don't know, for me, there's a bit of a red flag there and I could be wrong. Let's see again. See, he has got it on his shoulder, but it's quite sort of loose. You'll see in a moment he puts it like stronger, and she sort of blinks, but she looks. Tell me, am I reading too much into it? He's one of those, to me, typical. Feels to me like he's trying to speak very soft and measured and everything, but quite often that's what they do. That's not the real them.
Love overcomes a lot of evil and hate and stuff. So thank you. It's so important. Thank you. God bless y'all. The billboards and everything.
Yeah, and then he grips her a little bit more, and she sort of blinks. I don't know. I could be reading far too much into that, but that's how it strikes me. Quite often when I've seen Candice, she's just got this expressionless look. Maybe she comes from a family where there's been abuse. I don't know. Maybe that's what she thinks is normal.
Everything that y'all put up for us, not for us, but for our daughter's sake. Thank you. God bless y'all. We hope and pray to God that we can find our daughter. We can't thank you enough. There's nothing we can do to thank y'all enough, but just.
I don't know, is it me or because she does get upset there, you can see. He's side-eyeing her. I feel like she wants to say something, but it's like, why do I always feel with her that there's something she wants to say? Do you think one day she might actually speak out against him?
But just to thank you and praise our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
It's almost like she's pleading with her eyes. But anyway, that's how it felt to me. I could be completely wrong. Let me know what you think. Some people think she did it, never mind him. But, That's just my impressions. I felt like she was thinking so much there that wasn't coming out. Anyway. Okay, so what's the next thing I wanted to show you? Right, so this is a video that the Don Wells was on the Don Wells family YouTube channel, and this video was made by a friend. It says a video a friend made. So again, I have to turn the music off, I'm afraid, but there's no talking. You're not missing anything that anybody's saying. So let's share this. Now, let's just go back to that. So on this one, you know my name, but not my story. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean there. You know my name, but not my story. What do you think? You know, people do, you know, that's there for a reason. Don't know what they're trying to say there. I find this chilling. This is chilling. Now, what I don't understand is, one, why were they on a Zoom call? I mean, what is this? You know, why are they separate like that? And she looks, bless her, she looks like she's just come out of Belsen or somewhere, out of, you know, Auschwitz. I mean, it's awful. And he just, I don't know. Oh, it did chill me, this photo action. Another one does as well. Oh, yeah, what the pictures, are these from like Zoom calls? Why are there no pictures of him and her, like, you know, normally? Now I do find when I see the mother with her, I do feel like there is love there. But this is odd, isn't it? And we're gonna hear from Don Wells's, well, somebody reporting on what Don Wells's sister said about him. I don't know if you know that about his, supposedly what he did to his sister. Again, it's allegedly. I don't think it's been proven or prosecuted, but it casts a whole new light on everything. Poor little girl. Oh, where did that go? Yeah, now, were they on Zoom together there? Or, like, I just don't understand that. Is that what they were on Zoom? Is that why they're two separate photos? Like, you know, they're not together, are they? They're not having fun together. It's him doing that and her doing that. I don't think they could have been on Zoom, because I don't think you can do these things on Zoom. Or, well, maybe you can, and I just don't know how to do it. Now there, so he got that spider on him there, and she's got it on her there. I don't know. That could be Zoom, I suppose. Look at that. That's so pretty, isn't it? Oh, bless. Mind you, she has got lipstick on. I don't like that. That's, you know, it looks so pretty if you look at it from an innocent point of view. But of course, you know, it can be looked at from a different point of view. I hate the fact you have to look at everything so cynically these days. Do you know, when I first came to Spain, you know, when my son was at school, and every year at the end of school, the school year, they have like, you know, a day, like I presume they do in the UK or anywhere as well. It's like the end of term, and they do a dance each year, like this is when he was in infantile, you know, when he was in like the junior school, each year would do some sort of a dance. And the first year, like he was in the youngest class, and they get to do theirs first. They did theirs, which was like a little song saying, "Yo quiero mucho a mi mamá," like I love my mum a lot, which was really sweet. And then and then you'd stay and watch the rest of them. And a couple of sort of years up, but maybe only the 8-year-olds, they were doing a can-can. These little girls were doing a can-can, and they were dressed in full can-can outfits, you know, with their little high shoes and stockings and everything. And I mean, it was lovely because it was innocent, you know, and how things have been changed by people with bad intentions, you know, because at that time, now whether it could be different now, maybe the awareness has caught up here in Spain as well. But it was just so innocent. It wasn't people thinking, you know, making a sort of appeased delight sort of thing, like a dance by all these little girls dressed up as can-can dancers. It was just innocent. It was just innocent. But, you know, it drew a few breaths from the British people because we'd already sort of got that sort of, you know, unfortunate awareness. Perhaps, you know, I don't know where it changes from awareness to paranoia, because, you know, children should be allowed to do innocent things like dress up, but, you know, where does it cross the line from being that to being like, you know, to actually being a bloody, like the beauty pageants like Jean Benet and things like that? Where does it change from being like an innocent thing where it's just little girls dressing up and that to becoming a really quite sinister thing? And the same with this picture. This is a beautiful picture, but you could look at it a different way, couldn't you? That there's makeup and yeah. Oh, do you know what? I don't know what to think in this case. This is why I don't do many children's cases, because it can, I mean, look at these. They all did look again like they'd just come out of Auschwitz. Now, why they had their head shaved? It may be because they had nits or something. You know, at the end of the day, children get nits, but I don't know. Oh my God, what? I missed that when I watched it the first time. Really? Oh God, they've all got guns. She don't look that happy about that. Look at this. They've all got rifles, the boys. Has she actually got one as well? I can't quite make out. Oh gosh. Look, I know in America and other countries, you know, and they live in a place where they probably go hunting, etc. But posing your children with bloody rifles is not good. And even if you did do that, why would you think that that'd be appropriate for a memorial photo of your daughter who's missing? Because, you know, and you don't know what's happened to her. Maybe she died in an accident, a shooting accident or something like that. Just don't know, do you? If there's guns around the place, you know, do you think they were kept like they're supposed to be in a locked cabinet? Oh, I love that picture of her at the Christmas tree with a little red dress on and that. That's so sweet. Oh. Okay, so that's off the Wells official website. So I wanted to show you that. Now, let's see. Now the next thing I want to show you is a drone of their house and property, their home and property. This again is on their website. I presume it's okay to look at. It's their public, in the public domain. Again, there's no speaking on it. I've just cut the music out. So it's beautiful, isn't it? I think it's beautiful. But there's a lot of places where danger could lurk, I suppose. Are there marshes? That's what I want to know, if there are marshes, because marshes just keep coming into my head and I don't know why. And if there are marshes, can you search even marshes? I don't know. Or have they been searched? Those beautiful colours. I think you have to think, there's the house. Yeah, the road's not far away from the house. You know, we can't jump to conclusions really, because look at Charlotte Senna. She was taken from that nature trail. Wow, it's beautiful, isn't it? But you can see that the police have got their work cut out. Anyway, or if something did happen at the home, was she then taken miles away? And, what would you do? You think, what would you do? You wouldn't do it, because even if it was an accident, you wouldn't just take the child and leave her, not respectfully bury her remains, etc. Would you? Not if it was an accident. You would, if you would just let the police take it. If you were telling the truth that it was an accident, it would be seen to be an accident. What would you do? Now, if you think about that, though, if you were that sort of person that would do that, would you want to get it as far away from you as possible, the body, I mean, or would you want it to be local where you could go and pay your respects? Or would you do what some people have done? Anyway, I can't say that, so I should, but I was thinking of the McCanns. Returning on pilgrimages as well, you could do if you took it far away, but you would. There's the shed, there's the road. I don't know if there is any marshland there. I don't know what creates marshes, where you would find marshes. Gosh, drones, they were a game changer, weren't they? I've got some fantastic footage of Nicola Bully that's one of my subscribers sent me. I'm going to put that together with their thoughts on what they think about that case, because drones just give you this fantastic insight that you don't have on foot. There's a Bible. There's a lot of rubbish hanging around. There's a lot of dangerous things. Premises protected by 24-hour surveillance. So why have they got that surveillance? So I need to look for that then, I suppose. So was there a CCTV? Wouldn't they have seen somebody taking Summer away? Is that where the red pickup truck that hasn't been identified yet came from? now we're going to look at another YouTube channel that I'd never heard of before. So I want to thank one of my subscribers, one of my members, for telling me about this. So we're going to see something that they had to say on there. This YouTube channel is called Chasing Truth Unplugged. I've subscribed to it now. Let me just show the channel. So again, I'm hoping she doesn't mind me using a bit of one of her videos, as long as I give her credit for it. So yeah, go over there and subscribe. And I just want to tell you, because sometimes some of you say that you don't get notifications. On my channel, where it says subscribed, yeah, if you press the little link next to it, next to the bell and the subscribed. Now, at the moment, I've got it on no notifications. That's what it's on automatically. When you subscribe to a channel, it's automatically on no notifications. And then you would either pick your unsubscribe if it please don't subscribe to my channel. But if it comes to a day where you do want to, that's where you'll find that. Personalize, where you can personalize what you get alerted to and what you don't. And then all. So I'm going to press all for this Chasing Truth Unplugged. So now every time she releases a video, a community post, anything, I will get notification. And if it comes a day I want to change that, I just go on there and go back to none again. You know, so you're in charge of what you get alerted to or don't get alerted to. Okay, now this was an interesting video. I just want to warn you that if you've had any problems with abuse in your past, this could trigger you. So this apparently is from a Facebook. What Don Wells' sister wrote to a Facebook page, you know, that was looking at Summer Wells. So let's have a look at it.
When the state would start breathing down their neck.
Right, I'll just go back to the beginning of this. I go to where the police were talking. So this is where we're going from.
Are these her biological parents, mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any history of your office?
1 second. Sorry.
Is there any history of your office going to their home or anyone in the home? Is there any criminal history for the family members?
The father has a criminal history.
Can you elaborate on that?
I don't have it with me.
Is any of the family persons in interest?
So they asked, are they both back? This must have been in the beginning, I suppose. Are they both biological parents? He said yes. And then they said, has either of them got criminal history? And he said, the father has a criminal history. They asked what it was, and he said, I don't have it with me. Strange.
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer. The most important thing is find Summer. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing the ground searches, the aerial searches, and finding her is first and foremost.
Are you concerned that this could be an abduction at this point after so much time has passed?
Everything's on the table. I mean, we're looking at everything, crossing every T, dotting every I, and turning every stone. That's why we have two different operations. Captain's operation is search and rescue. Law enforcement operation is look into this incident and find Summer.
Is the father's criminal record relevant in this investigation?
No, sir.
I've also heard there's been
Trigger warning. Don Wells' sister has decided she wants me to share her story. She messaged me this morning and opened up. She gave me consent to share to clear the air. I will warn you now that you will be muted or blocked if you victim shame or blame. You don't have to support, comment, or believe her, but you will not disrespect an alleged abuse survivor in our group. Okay. Hello, my daughter told me you were one of the admins of a Summer Wells page that I'm a part of. I'm Donald's sister, and I was abused by him from a young age. I have a post I wanted to share, but wanted to ask if I would.
So that's massive, isn't it? So she said I was abused by him from a young age. So straight away, that's like a bomb going off, isn't it?
Be allowed to? If so, how do I do that? Answer, you can type it in here, or I can share it in the group, or you can just make a post in the group, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, I am one of the people who Donnie, S.A., for me, it started when I was 4 and lasted until he went to prison when I was 10.
It started when she, now remember, this is alleged. So, you know, as far as I know, he's not been convicted or prosecuted of this. Started, but according to his sister, started when she was 4 and finished when he went to prison when she was 10.
My daughter, the person I spoke to, my daughter, blank, has made a few posts about this and is now getting backlash and was told by the patriarch of our family that she is no longer allowed to be in or part of the family for dragging his name through the mud. He is denying any of this happened, even though at the time it was not addressed, but witnessed more than once.
Witnessed more than once. He's denying it. The patriarch of the family is getting annoyed with them for causing, you know, and of course, we all know that occasionally or often even when children do report SA, it's not believed by the rest of the family, or the rest of the family want to hush it up. They don't want, you know, they don't want the shame of it. You know, quite often the victim gets blamed for just speaking up.
A lot of you ask questions like, if this happened, then why isn't he in jail? Why wasn't he arrested? This right here is exactly why. This is a lot. There is a lot of abuse in our family, in our family history. Not solely Donnie, but it seems like it's almost the norm. Not to talk about it, don't tell anyone, sweep it under the rug type mentality.
Now, we know that that does happen in families sometimes. We've seen it with Fred West and Rosemary West, and look where that led. You know, there was always child loving right through their family history. And these things, unfortunately, quite often just get continued on into the next generation. Goodness me.
All blank, her daughter, was trying to do was break the cycle and stand up for what's right in hopes that it could possibly give clues to Summer's disappearance. I'm not sure why so many choose to look the other way in instances like this, but they do. As far as abuse, drug use, babies with diapers so dirty that they were full of maggots, all completely true.
Babies with diapers completely filled with maggots. Now, again, it's important to say this is what the, you know, I don't know. I'm just coming into this later on. I don't know what, if any of this has been verified, proven, whatever, but it's certainly an interesting insight into Don, isn't it?
Just for clarity, I'm talking about his first son and daughter, who are now in their 30s. Some of you asked why nothing was done, why the kids weren't taken away. Donnie was never one to stay in one place very long, but the majority of his years, his 2 oldest children were growing up in Utah. We all knew that they were misfit parents. They would come to my parents and visit a lot, and also live there off and on. Every second we could, we would bathe the kids, dress them in clean clothes, feed them, hold them, love them. CPS was called.
Now, I don't know much about his first wife or his children who are now in their 30s. So that's something I'll have to research. Be interesting to see what his first wife was like.
All the time, but nothing ever came of it. Family members were constantly offering to take the kids, and one even tried to adopt them, but they always refused. When the state would start breathing down their necks, they'd come up and leave the state, sometimes in the middle of the night. None of you have any idea how hard we all tried to do the right thing by these kids. Every time we'd call CPS, we'd wait for the call. Everyone was ready to take them, but that call never came.
Now, it's very difficult, isn't it? I think, you know, that, yeah, just up and move, don't they? If they feel like CPS is getting close to, they don't want the children taken off them. They feel like they're getting too close, they just up and move to another state, and then it all has to start all over again. And yeah.
I don't want to get into a lot of the detail, mostly because I could go on for hours, but I'm not going to sit by while my daughter gets criticized for trying to give insight on what may have happened to Summer. My past does not sway me in either direction if Donnie or Candus had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, but I do think certain things should be noted. And Donnie, if you want to confront me directly, then bring it on. You know the thing.
Now, there's something I want to talk about now, but I don't think I can because, but you know, confronting an abuser, that's what you're recommended by, you know, psychologists, counsellors, etc. That's what they tell you to do. But you know what? I can tell you from personal experience, you can confront them all you like, but whether they ever respond to it is a whole other thing.
Things you did to me, the secret motorcycle rides down the railroad tracks, the quote-unquote dare games you'd play, the if you don't want me to die, don't tell anyone comments, coming into my room every single night and a 7-year-old me trying to force on as many pair of pants as I could to deter you before I went to bed.
Obviously, children, this poor lady as well.
The apology you gave me, the apology you gave me while you were in Utah recently. And this past week, calling Dad, lying, and trying to get sympathy from a heartbroken man with Alzheimer's. So pathetic. Oof. I hope and pray this baby is found safe. She deserves a chance for a better life. We all love you so much, Summer.
Aww.
You can post this openly.
So that's very, very potent, isn't it? You know, and personally, I believe that if she's come out and said, why would she lie? Why would she lie about that? You know, his sister, why would she lie? So she's saying she's coming out with this because her daughter has made some comments on Facebook in a group and had backlash. So she won't stand for her daughter, you know, taking that sort of thing, and she's coming out and saying this is true. So it comes down to who do you believe, and I know who I believe. And she mentioned something about some apology that he made, but you know, gosh. Anyway, the key thing is if he was doing that then to her between when she was 4 and he only stopped when she was 10 because he went into prison, you know, that's terrifying then to think that he's got a 5-year-old girl in his care. Keeps just clicking off my camera sometimes for some reason. I'll try and edit that out, but if I don't, you know why. Yeah. Right, have I got anything else for today? Oh yeah, just want to show you this interview with Candus, the grandma. Did I share that? Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at what she had to say. Apparently she's not cooperating.
Into the ER because my leg was messing up on me, and we were afraid something was wrong with my knee. I have a knee replacement, and she was worried that there was something wrong with it, and she took me into the hospital, and I ended up getting a shot for it.
Now, bear in mind that this is the woman who not only has lost one of her daughters, one of her, the aunts, Candace's sister who went missing, disappeared when she was 21 or whatever, 10 years before Summer went missing. Now she's lost a granddaughter. Her granddaughter's gone missing. My goodness. I mean, there's most people will never have anybody go missing, but certainly not more in their family. But to have two women go missing makes you wonder.
And they prescribed me medication to take to get the swelling down out of my knee and around my knee because it was inflamed. And then we waited around for my prescription. Summer went swimming that day at the horse stables, I believe it was. And then we come back, and I went in my camper, and after we brought my groceries in for me, and the boys helped with that, and of course Summer, and I laid down and went to sleep.
Well, she's thinking too hard here. When she's on the boys is and Summer, and then she's really, really thinking. I mean, normally when you don't have to think when you're telling the truth, you just say it.
I got up and I was sitting in my doorway, and we come out, and Candace asked me what I was doing. I said, well, we got to transplant these little cactuses into bigger pots. And we did that, and then
Yeah, that's exactly what Candace said, wasn't it, when the guy went round to visit her? It seems to me like she's trying to remember what story she's supposed to be saying, because I don't think you have to think as hard as that when you're telling the truth, but I could be wrong.
Summer come in and had a piece of peppermint, which is her favorite, and then she went in. She said, Mama, I want to go play with the boys. Candy walked her back to the house, and she asked the boys to keep an eye on her, and that's the last time I seen her.
See, I don't believe that either. I mean, you saw how close the trailer was to the house. Why would she need to walk her back to the house? I mean, is what she's saying, that she was always monitored? You just know she was not always monitored at that house, just from walking to it. Is she saying that if she said to her mum, "Oh, can I go and see my grandma?" that mum would walk her over there? I don't believe that.
Tell me, when you first realized that Summer was missing, what was going through your mind, and what was it like here?
To be blunt, it was hell. I mean, and I apologize, I'm blunt. As everybody knows, I have a missing daughter. She's been gone for 12 years. And all I could say is, oh God, not again. And I couldn't do nothing but cry. And we yelled for her, and we yelled for her, and yelled for her. And we could not find her. Candy was in hysterics.
That's strange, isn't it? So she said straight away, she said, I thought to myself, oh no, not again. This is literally when it just first happened. Surely you wouldn't think straight away that she got missing and you're never going to see her again. It'd take a while before that starts to dawn on you. Let me just do that again. Yeah, something's happened here. Some accident or some, I'd be surprised if she'd been kidnapped. But anyway, I'm literally just don't know. So
we could not find her. Candy was in hysterics.
Sorry, I meant to go back a bit, just a little bit.
And we yelled for her, and we yelled for her, and yelled for her. And we could not find her. Candy was in hysterics. And we never did find her. She called 911 and she called Donnie, and we sent the boys down over the hill, and I stood in front of over by the edge there and watched them, and was praying to God every minute that nobody would take them. And there was no sign.
Did you hear that? Should we sent the boys down? But I watched them over the hill, and then we sent them down. So bear in mind, your 5-year-old granddaughter or daughter has just disappeared. So you send your other young children down to see what's happened to her. And she said, I was praying to myself, I hope nothing happens, nobody takes them. I mean, it's mad. Mad.
Do you believe that someone took Summer, or do you believe that she wandered off? What do you believe happened?
I believe somebody took her. I know people say it doesn't happen, but it does happen. It happens in small towns. It happens in big towns. It happens in the country. And I believe somebody took her.
Okay. So there you go. So these things, they don't obviously leave us any further on, really. You know, we don't know until Summer is found. We don't know, do we? One other thing, actually, yeah, I've got a little interview here with Donnie, as they call him, and he was talking about Candus making the wrong friends. Let's have a look. I haven't got a video. It's not a video. It's I don't think it's don't think it's the actual video, no. Anyway, apparently he said he was asked by News Nation, their one, I like their coverage as well of events, and he asked if it's possible that something happened to, he was asked if it's possible that something happened to Summer that Candus knows about. And Donald said, no, because she knows better, she would go directly to law enforcement. And an accident is one thing. She would never do something like that. She knows better than that. And he was also asked if Candus possibly got into a situation where it wasn't her fault, to which Donald insisted no. He then described Candus as a good mother who loves her children. But he said the biggest mistake she might have made is that maybe she was in with some wrong friends, but you know, it happens. Oh, let's have a look. I think I might, oh, yeah. Hopefully we might get the, oh, yeah.
Happened to Summer that Candus knows about that's not her fault, but she is just nervous now and feeling bad about it.
Well, no, because she knows better. She would know to go directly to law enforcement. An accident's one thing. She would never do something like that. She knows better than that. I know it happens. It does happen with people, but no, she would go directly to law enforcement. She'd call an ambulance right away, number one, you know, do anything. She would freak out. I mean,
could she have gotten herself in?
I believe him. I don't think it is anything to do with Candus. That's my impression. But she may know about it now. But I don't think it is Candus that Candus has done anything.
To a situation where it wasn't her fault, but
no.
You know what I mean?
No. No, she's a good mother. She loves her children. She's not going to allow any situation like that. The biggest mistake she might have made is maybe choosing some wrong friends, which is, you know, it happens.
Yeah, he was the wrong friend. Yeah.
It was interesting there.
Okay, so that's all I've got to show you for today. I will be doing more videos on this case, and maybe we're building up to a development or whatever, you know. Gosh, so frustrating, isn't it? Sometimes with cases, they do take a long, long time before justice is served. Look at the Gilgo Beach murders. Look at the recent case of Natalie Holloway and Joran Van de Klerk, or whatever his name is, has only just admitted to a murder. Oh, and he may be going to Aruba where the murder happened, because the thing is, no one can prosecute him in Peru, where he's currently in prison for murdering somebody else. And in America, they can't prosecute him because it didn't take place there. But if Aruba decide to prosecute him on the grounds of the confession that he's just made, that might be something. But yeah, quite often we have to wait a long, long time for justice, and it's very frustrating. I feel this is a bit more positive than the Madeleine McCann case. I don't think the Madeleine McCann case will ever be resolved until maybe one day Jerry or Kate, you know, may feel like telling the truth, or somebody else close to them, you know, one of the other children or whatever. But I do feel in this case that there's going to be a resolution, but, you know, could be wrong. But anyway, now I just want to say at the end though, if so I'll give you what I think so far, because I think this is why a lot of you wanted me to cover this case, is just to get my take on it, you know, just out of interest. Currently, I don't think Candus did anything. But I do think Candus knows something. Now, I think she's scared of him. Now, it may be that even when he is ever arrested, she may come out and actually tell the truth if she's scared enough, you know. But I think at the moment she's under his thrall, she's under his wing. And, you know, although a lot of us, we can't understand why a mother especially would, you know, let that happen. It does happen, happens every day. So, anyway, prayers for Summer wherever she is. I hope she's okay, in the sense of if she's passed on from this world, I hope, you know, she'll be in heaven. And and if she hasn't passed from this world, I hope she's not suffering day in, day out for whatever reason, for, you know, if she has been kidnapped, so I hope they're treating her well. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Yeah, if you know, if and you don't mind, let me know if you know the name of the friend who used to stay sometimes with the Wellses when they fell out with their partner, stay in the shed at the end of the road. I mean, I say I am going to carry on looking for it, but if you know it, please let me know. And also, if you know that anything about that area, are there any marshes? I need to get on the Google Earth. I'm not very good with those sort of things, but I need to find a way of doing that. But if you know anything about that area, if there are any marshes, please let me know. So I'll see you real soon in the next video, and until then, may your God always go with you. Thank you all.